How to fix a loud or buzzing bathroom exhaust fan. This video is for educational purposes only, and you should always hire a licensed electrician. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is turn off the circuit breaker that controls the exhaust fan. This specific fan is a Nutone QT9093 fan. It's got the exhaust, light, night light, and heater. In this case, the noise could be coming from the blower motor for the heater, the exhaust motor, or the fan grill itself. Now, to remove the grill, there's two screws. You basically loosen both screws, but don't take them out. Once you're done loosening the screws, you basically twist off the grill. Once you take the cover off, you'll expose both bulbs. That is the night light and the main light bulb. You'll want to remove both of these units by just simply untwisting them. This is also the same process that you would use if you just want to replace the light bulbs. The next step is to remove both screws holding the lighting assembly up. Now, this is not a requirement, it just makes it easier to see what's behind the assembly. This Nutone exhaust fan has three components that have to be removed. First, the lighting unit, the second component is the heater blower assembly, and finally the third component being the vent assembly. The heater blower assembly unit is held to the main unit by 4 screws. You're going to want to loosen these screws to remove the heater assembly. The heating unit may be stuck. You're going to lightly tap on it. This will help it come loose from the main housing unit. Once the heating unit gives way, the next step is to unplug the harness cable that plugs into the main housing. You're going to press both tabs in, and once you press them in, you'll pull the harness out and it should easily give way. Now just gently remove the heater blower assembly from the main unit and put it aside. Next, you'll want to unplug the blower assembly cable. Much like the heater blower assembly, the exhaust assembly or the exhaust motor is held to the main unit by 4 screws. Again, you're going to want to loosen and remove these screws. Once you remove the exhaust unit, you can inspect it for damage. A lot of times what happens is the cage either is dusty or has broken, and hence the reason you hear the noise. In this case, this unit is pretty dirty. Put the exhaust unit down on a hard surface and unscrew the 3 screws that hold the motor assembly to the unit. The motor unit itself is relatively inexpensive and can be found on eBay or Amazon. Now, I decided to replace the exhaust motor unit because it's been installed in my house for over 12 years, and I figured that it's probably on its way out. Keep in mind that if you have a newer fan and it's making noise, it could be that the cage is very dusty. What you're going to want to do is just clean the cage with a piece of paper or cloth. Now in this case, I decided to buy a new unit. Reassembly of the exhaust motor assembly is pretty straightforward. Just put it into the unit, align the screw holes, and screw it in. And don't forget to screw the ground into the sheet metal. Next, we're going to reassemble the exhaust motor assembly into the main unit. This is pretty straightforward. Pop the unit in place and reassemble by tightening the 4 screws. The next step is to plug the exhaust motor into the main unit. Make sure you tighten all screws, and this will prevent vibration or noises due to vibration. Next, you're going to reassemble the heater blower assembly into the main unit. Again, this is pretty straightforward. Once you properly align the heater blower assembly, the next step is to screw it in place into the main housing unit. Again, the heater blower assembly has 4 screws. Don't forget to properly tighten these 4 screws. This will help in preventing further noise from vibration. The next step is to screw in the lighting assembly. It's held in place by 2 screws. Again, screw the unit in and make sure that the screws are tightened. Once you're done screwing in the main lighting assembly, the next step is to plug in the wiring harness that controls your heater and your blower, as well as your main light and night light. You may also want to clean the exhaust fan's grill just to get rid of any dirt or dust that may have accumulated on the lens or the grill itself. The next step is to screw in your night light and your main light. Again, this may be a good opportunity to upgrade your lighting to energy efficient LED bulbs. The last step is to assemble the fan grill. Again, this is done by aligning the screw holes and twisting the cover in place and finally screwing it in. Once you align the screw holes, screw in the cover. Again, make sure you screw it nice and tight. This will help prevent any noise from vibration. Once you're done screwing in the grill, the next step is to turn on the circuit breaker. The next step is to test all functions of the exhaust fan. That is light, night light, vent, and heat. And as you can hear, this bathroom exhaust fan sounds like a brand new unit.